There's really no time frame specifically that has passed for something to be cold or unsolved. It's just labeled that when every effort regarding the case has been exhausted and investigators have nowhere else to turn. And really, that's the scenario for over 200 cases. Tune in during this same time tomorrow as I introduce you to a firearms examiner as she shares with me how she helps solve crime. Investigators tell me there was no forced entry into the room. So did Brandy leave the door unlocked? Was it someone she knew? These are all questions that still don't have answers. But what investigators do know is who alerted them believed a struggle had taken place. Thank you so much, and thank you for being transparent, for your honesty, and for looking out for us.
Not a problem, and I appreciate your advocacy on Chris's behalf and on all of our cold cases.
And that was a call from Detective Vandermolen, who's been working the case since 2020. What about the people who would combat that and say, "Oh, you had this. Why didn't you test it?" Like, what would you?
Hindsight's 2020, and I wish we would have tested it back in 94, 95 when CODIS came online.
But who was to say that would even have made a match?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
Today, again, it's in CODIS currently. Mm-hmm. There's nothing in CODIS for Mr. Hart.
So now when you pulled this photo out and you're looking at her, what would you tell her?
I'd tell her that we finally caught the guy that did this to her, and that she didn't deserve to get what happened to her.
You can't bring this loved one back, but you can put behind bars someone who did this.
Yes. Giving his family some closure, some answers to those, just why did this happen?
Facebook group, it says justice for Ernie Ortiz. What would justice look like in this situation? And this is the original case report, and it says there was no suspect at that time and the case remains unsolved today. Do you think you'll be able to find them?
I think with the public's help, the plea we're putting out to guide us in a little bit better quadrant.
Both were taken to the hospital. Valencio lost his life. The female would later be okay. Here is the home on South Water Street now. You can see 2.5 years later, it's boarded up. Investigators say unknown suspects approached the Hills home on foot and fired shots from the street, striking the victims and surrounding property. And as we showed you in this story, this is a sketch of what the victim might look like. Detectives want you to take a look and see if you recognize who this person could be. And if you do, please call them. It's been nearly 5 hours since gunshots were fired, resulting in injuries to 3 Cowley County Sheriff's deputies and a suspect dead on scene. We are told those 3 deputies were transported to a local hospital in Wichita for treatment.
You can probably hear them right now, but the sirens, the panic, the fear, the worry as to, are my loved ones okay? Are they inside? What's going on? And like I said, all we know is that there was a shooting here. And we heard from a family at the top of the show, and they told us this was supposed to be a normal day, a normal Friday, getting dinner, going to the mall.
I am told this fire is now under control, but as you can tell, look at my hair, my hat, this wind is absolutely unforgiving. Dust is flying everywhere, conditions that are not helping firefighters put out this fire. But one thing that is helping firefighters, take a look at this water irrigation system dumping out water. A local farmer tells me a system like this dumps out around 900 gallons a minute. Pilar, I spoke to a Wichita native who now lives in Andover, and this is what is left of his home. He said he's seen tornadoes off in the distance before, and some even come close to him, but he's never been completely displaced like he is now. David, we are right across from the State House here in downtown Topeka, awaiting Chris Kobach's election night watch party. He filed to run for the Kansas Attorney General's position May 31st. You were saying even with that high name recognition, it could really be anyone's game out there. We are right outside TSA's checkpoint, and take a look behind me. It's getting pretty busy. This place is getting full, and it's only 5 o'clock in the morning. TSA says the Thanksgiving travel season is the busiest travel season of the year. As you can tell by this sign here, West Street Burgers really had no other option today but to stay closed. Here at Grace Presbyterian Church is going pretty smooth. We're in the hallway where voters will line up to go ahead and sign in.
There you go.
I hit the frame. Frame counts. Okay, we've got paintball over here.
Yep.
And so tell us, as I'm shooting these off, what is the purpose of this? It's fun. She said the tornado took everything she had, but it didn't take her or her husband. And this is all stuff that can be replaced. With customers forced to weave in and out of cones just to get to the store, the shop owner says foot traffic has decreased by 60%. Event organizers say 100% of the ticket sales will go to benefit the Andover Tornado Relief Fund through the United Way. And sometime after Sunday service ended, vandals came back and got more. Here are their tracks. And even though traffic remained light for much of Saturday morning, there were a number of accidents, including here at the Kellogg exit on I-130. Wellington High School decked out in red Friday to show their love and support for Steve, and so did nearby Washington Elementary School with this cup display. And this is how the outdoor warning system is activated with the click of this button.